Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Right, what we're going to do now, what I've done is I've cut two pieces of 1 1/8" round bar and I have put them in the lathe and put a center drill in each end, because later on we'll be turning these between centers to get this shape in there. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to machine the flats, machine it to width each end. So I've got it set up, I've got one already set up here, and I've done some maths. So the rod is 1 1/8, that's 1 inch and 125 thou. And we've got to machine it to 13/16. This is the big ends here, the bearings. So this end we got to get it to 0.8125 thou wide. So where we got to machine a little bit off each side, I've minus that comes to that, and I've split that into two. So each side I have to take off 0.1562, 156 thou off each side. So let's get that going. So I've got that set at 0. Beautiful. Right. That's this side done of it. Now what I'll do is I'll machine the other side. No need for you to see that because it's the same as that, but a little bit narrower. On the other side, I've got to take it down to 9/16 there. So I have to take each side 0.3438 off of each side. So I'll just do that and I'll get back to you. Right, this is the last cut this side. Right, on this side here I've just done, I've got to go mark that there, and then the next mark 5/8 of an inch, and then the next 5/8 of an inch is another 1/16 narrower each side. So I'll just mark that out, and I think I'll use a smaller cutter. So what I've just done is I've set this part of cutter up to cut this little step here. That's what we're trying to do, because we've got that measurement now, and then we've got to take down. So the difference between that, I've done 1/16. So let's get that machined. Right, this is the last cut here for this little step down. Alright. That's that little step down done. I'll just take that out and we'll have a look. Right. So, looking side on here to the drawing, that flat end is the top of there, so we still got to take some off the bottom there. And then looking at this end here, you've got the wide part there and just steps down there. So I've got the wide part there and just steps down there. Now I've got to turn this over and do the same there. And then we're halfway to machining these ends. The next thing we'll have to do after that is turn it that way. And then machine that to 3/8 of an inch wide there. And then that flat on there. Right, so I'll get on and just machine the other sides. Right, this is the last cut this side. Right. Lovely. So that's this side done, which is at the minute, if you look at that way, that is the width, the height there, look. Yeah, that's the height between the two parts. And then we'll have to turn it 90 degrees later on and take it down to 3/8 of an inch thick this way. Right, I'll just do the other end. Right, this is the last cut on this one. Then I've got to do the little step down. Right, what I'll do is I'll just put the smaller cutter in and mark that and do the little step down there on this side. Right, this is the last cut for this little step down. Once I've done this, we'll take it out of there and we'll have a little look at it. There we are. Right, I'll just get that out of there and we'll have a look at it. Right, so this is the bearing end, which is this end. And this end here is where it goes on to the piston rod. So you can see I've got that to that width and that little step down there on this end. Then that's machined to the width on that end. So next thing we got to do is turn this 90 degrees. You see where we're at? We can then see if I can get that up higher. So that's this top bit. And now we turn it 90 degrees so we can then machine that width there on this end. So that'll be machined down to there, 3/8 of an inch. And then the width there, 7/8 of an inch on this end, there. And then we can then mount that in the lathe in the centres and turn the middle part. That's a good start. Right, as you can see, I got this set up. I've got to take 3/8 of an inch off each side of that. So we get on and get that going, shall we? Right, this is the last cut on this side. Beauty. Right, now I've got to get on and set it up on this side. Right, so I've got that set up to 0. Now I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of there. Right, this is the last cut on this side. Right, so I'll just take this out and we'll have a look. Right, so at the minute now, that's that way. Now I've turned it round and I've machined off half of that now for that side. And I've machined off that top half there. Now what I'll do is I'll turn that over, take down the rest of this side and take that off, and then that'll be ready then for putting in the lathe. So I'll just do that, get back to you. Right, this is the last cut on this side. Right, so here is the bearing end. Now I've got to take the 1/8 of an inch off of this end, which I'll just get on and do. Right, this is the last cut on this side. Right, there we are. Right, I'll just get this out and show you. Right, so here we have this part ready to go in between centres to turn this part down there. I hope you can see what I'm trying to do. So later on we'll be going through there. The bearings will be on there, held on with a strap. Now if we turn it this way, that's where the bearings are. We got to go through there. And on this end, we have to jig it up and then cut that U in here later on. So this one's now ready to go in the lathe between centres, turn up that. What I'll do is I'll just get the other connecting rod machined to the same as that. Right. So there we've got two connecting rods ready to go into the lathe to turn that part up. So they've got to be set between centres. I'll machine, that's 3/8 diameter there. So if I machine that straight first, and then I shall alter the tailstock a little bit to get that 5/16 taper on it. But that's the next job. Mount these in the lathe, turn down the middle part. Right, you can see I've got that set in the lathe between centres with a drive dog there. I got some marks on here. Don't know if you can see it. I'll zoom in a little bit for a minute. Those two marks there on this end here, that one there, I'm supposed to be turning down to 7/8 of an inch. That is the mark I put on where it will be down to 5/16 of an inch. And up this end, that mark is the 1 inch. And the next mark I got on there, I don't know if you can see any. Anyway, the next mark would be the start of the 3/8 on the bearing end. Right, I'll just mount the camera on the stand. Right, so let's start turning that down then. Got to turn the lathe on. Here we go. Take that down to 7/8 of an inch first. Right. Right, I've turned most of that down to 7/8. I've put a different tool in to cut back this way to my first mark. Right. So that's turned down to 7/8 there. My next thing I got to do now, between my mark here and this mark here, let's get the drawing. Let's just get that out a bit more there. If you can see this here, it's 3/8 diameter up the bearing end, which is up this end, 5/16 up this end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn between my two marks, which I've marked at the beginning of that radius there and there. I'll turn that down to 3/8 of an inch first, and then I'll use a round cutter to blend that in and that end there. Right, so let's get that going. So I'm just starting to turn that down to 3/8 of an inch now. I mean, it's a lot of material to take off, so I shall only show you a little bit of the turning. Once I get closer to the 3/8, I'll turn the camera back on. Right, we're getting there now. I've got about 45 to go on this to get that down to 3/8. Right, this is the last cut this way to this end. Then I'll put the other tool in. Go back that way. Right, so that's down to 3/8 of an inch. I'll just get a round cutter now and try and blend these corners in each side. Lovely. Right, so I've got a ground up cutter there. I'm just going to blend in the corner there and blend in the corner there. Well, that end's done. I'm happy with that. Now I'll just blend in this end. Well, I'm just finishing up blending that corner in. Put some emery on it. I'm happy with that. I'll just get that out of there and we'll have a look. Right, so there's this one. Right, that's 3/8 there. I got to taper it to 5/16 this end. But what I'll do is I'll get the other connecting rod turned up to this point. So you've got the bearing end this end, which will be going under the crankshaft. And then that will be going to the piston rod end. Right, I'll get the next one machined up and then I'll get back to you. Right, that's the two connecting rods turned up. I was going to think about moving the tailstock over to do the taper. In fact, I turned the top slide of the cross slide. I've got enough travel, which did this. I'm about an inch short, that's all, but I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to do the other one now. So I'll just set that back up in the lathe between the centres. Right, so I've got that in there between centres. And I've got this adjusted so that when it's touching down this end, which has got to be 5/16, when it's wound right the way back, I've got a 32 132 gap there, which that would make that 5/16 when that's touching there. So let's get on. This is the last cut on there. Right, lovely. Let's put some emery on there and then we'll get it out and have a look. Beautiful. Right, we'll just get that off and have a look. Right, so there we are. That's the tapered end there. That looks quite good. Right, so the next thing, let's get the drawing. I'm going to mark that hole out there on that end and then machine that slot there. Good. Right, I've got this set up centered in the milling machine. That would be the 5/16 diameter pin. So I'm going to drill that smaller, and I've got a 5/16 reamer to go through there. So let's get that going. Ooh. Right, we're through there. Right, let's put the size drill in, which is smaller, just a nut smaller than a 5/16. And then we'll put the reamer through. Right, that's through. Now we can put a 5/16 reamer in there. Well, I can't put the reamer in with this Morse taper because the milling machine doesn't like Morse tapers with a tongue on it, so I'll ream that later on in my pillar drill. So what I'll do now is I'll get on and drill the same hole in the other one and get back to you. Right, so I found a 5/16 hand reamer, so I slowly feed that through. Right, there we are. Right, so the next thing now, let's take that out of the way. Next thing now, we have to take that up and set that up to do the 7/16 slot in there. So I'll just do that. Right, so I got this set up with a 7/16 cutter, just to cut that slot. So here we go. Halfway through. Here we are. Take that out and have a look, shall we? So there we are, that's lovely. That's pretty much one done. This end I'm going to wait till I've made the bearing. Right, I'll just get on and do the other one and I'll get back to you. Right, there we are. We'll take that out and have a look. Right. So I'll give these ends up a little bit of a clean up. That's the end there. I mean, I've got to round it off there. I could do that another day. Right, in the next video, I'll be doing this end here. That's the bearings, the strap, and then drilling through here. And also, where that wedge goes through, I have to mill the 1/8 slot down through the middle. So that little wedge tightens all the bearings up and that. So I'm happy with those at the minute. That's it for today. I'll get this video up. So please subscribe to my channel and join me as I build a 2-inch scale Fowler Showmans traction engine.